US government about to kibosh golf's historic Saudi merger? We saw this week the different sides of the argument in the world of golf getting together, the PGA Tour and LIV Golf. But now political opposition to the PGA Tour's merger with LIV is growing over in the US, so much so the merger is now under two separate Senate investigations. US government officials have raised concerns about the PGA Tour's involvement with the PIF, and they're now demanding answers, Simon, from officials on players' free speech rights, to the structure of the deal, to whether or not PIF's potential ownership of the thing in the first place was ever valid. What do you think? Is this going to go haywire before it can even begin to have an existence, i.e. the two sides getting together? That might be derailed sooner than later.
I think there's political capital being made out of it in terms of, countries' relationships politically, whether it's the Saudis' relationship with China or the Saudis' behaviour in other parts of the world. The Americans have got this perspective, and in their sports they don't really allow nation states to own major assets that are specifically American. None of the MLS sides, none of the NFL sides, none of the NBA sides are owned by nation states, and they don't allow that. That's why I was very pleased to hear, albeit it's a complete and utter smokescreen load of old claptrap from the Premier League, that they won't allow nation states. Well, and we've obviously clearly seen the PIF fund in the UK is not a nation state, but apparently in America, as a result of LIV Golf, it is.
Yeah.
So I think there's mischief being made here politically, but I also think it brings into question about the appetite to allow this level of intervention from a nation state. So I still think all ends will end up in the middle, and in terms of this ownership transaction will manifest itself. But there'll be a few more we might see some of this ridiculous, preposterous posturing that we saw with the Premier League, where Richard Masters was told to swallow one of these twice daily and believe that ultimately the PIF fund has nothing to do with the nation state and all kind of manners scenarios like that. And of course, when the Qataris buy Man United, it'll be nothing to do with the Qataris and the nation state investment from the Qataris, albeit everyone in Qatar that's ever made any money is indexed to the nation state. But with that in mind, I would be surprised. I think there's mischief being made here, and more political capital and other geopolitical benefits being taken from it, which again is a bleeding tragedy, because we have sport precisely where we don't want it to be. Yeah. In the eyes of the politicians. Thank you very much.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.